things to work on during the bye week, and it is brought to you by our friends at TriStarHatsCo.com.
4 downs, 4 questions, 4 answers. The Dave Hooker Show.
4
Downs, a presentation of OffTheHookSports.com.
All right, here we go. So Caleb came up with these, so I'll tell you if I agree or disagree. First, Cooper Mays, what should people do if they want to be a part of the program?
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe.
Thanks, Coop. What down?
Coop here. First down.
All right, Caleb, what's number 1?
All right, number 1 on this list is offensive tackles getting healthy and better. I think that's the most obvious thing to work on in the bye week.
Okay, so one of the things you left out is find ways to support them, such as extra tight ends in on the field. I think just getting healthier will make them better, but are you confident that they're good enough when healthy that they don't need much help on the perimeter?
Well, I do think John Campbell can, because John Campbell's shown that in the past. I'm having a hard time believing Lance Hurd as a 5-star can at least hold his own to a degree. Again, they actually held their own pretty well in the second half against Alabama and didn't have a lot of tight end help. I would say the tight ends, that could be part of it, the tight ends getting better, but I'm going to factor in the tight ends to another down on this, so that's kind of why I left them off here. So the real focus is the tackles getting better. Look, if you have to bring in extra tight ends, I've talked to enough people now, you limit this offense and you create more problems.
No, I agree. Somebody else in the box. I would say this. I think that Tennessee needs to have Dane Davis ready to go only at right tackle. You know, he subbed in for a little bit to make sure John Campbell was fresh late in the game, which is weird to do on the offensive line. And I think Larry Johnson, in case something happens to Hurd, needs to focus on left tackle. So that's what I would do if I were Tennessee in the off week. And I would prepare on subbing Dane Davis for a couple of drives a game so that John Campbell is fresh late. But Davis can't do that if he's focusing on backing up every position. What down is next?
Cooper Mays here. Second down.
All right, Caleb. So I totally disagreed with your first one.
You disagree with it?
No. I think they'll naturally get better.
All right, I'm going to get this one actually out of the way on second down because we kind of talked about it on our last segment. But Nico and his receivers, his pass catchers need to establish a better rapport. And I mean the receivers and the tight ends. I think he's missing tight ends on crossing routes sometimes. I think tight ends are not breaking on the right routes when they do run crossing routes. And then we already talked about the receivers. So I think the combination of those two, he just needs a better rapport with his pass catchers, period. And if he gets it with his tight ends, then we're talking about Tennessee doing what you're suggesting and being able to do.
Yep, chemistry. And I'd go a little bit with some thud drills. Do you know what those are?
I do not know what.
So you don't tackle to the ground, but Tennessee's practices are incredibly soft, like a lot of college practices. Not a knock on Josh Heupel; he don't want to get people hurt, so you don't take people to the ground. But I would be willing to knock Nico around a little bit, thud him, and get him a little more used to that, because I think he's been a 7-on-7 superstar, but you don't get hit in 7-on-7.
Tennessee center Cooper Mays here. Third down.
What's next, Caleb?
All right, so on third down, guys, I'm sorry. I apologize up front, and I think Dave might say I'm just being mean. I love what Dylan Sampson's done. I have high regard for him. I think he's amazing. Tennessee needs more depth at running back. And that is to say nothing negative of Deshaun Bishop. But when Deshaun Bishop gets in the game, he's so small, there's just a glaring, obvious issue with pass pro. There have been multiple times Tennessee had momentum in the second half because Dylan Sampson got them a touchdown. You know, he's been doing in the third quarter. I call him third quarter Dylan at this point. For two touchdown third quarter Dylan is what we can call him. But after he does all that work, they have to give him a break, and they bring in Deshaun Bishop, and then a drive gets killed because Deshaun Bishop is just too small to pass protect. And so Cam Seldon has really, or Peyton Lewis, one of them's got to emerge in the bye week. I'm sorry, one of them does.
Okay, I agree, but I still say that I have no problem with Dylan Sampson getting 26, 28 carries. I think he's the key to this offense.
I don't either, really. But I mean, they're still pulling him for drives because they have to just to get him rest.
Yeah,
and
that means Bishop, who's not good in pass pro.
Yeah, that means Bishop, who's not good in pass pro. Bishop runs hard. I can't say enough about how hard Bishop runs. It's like, I have, Dave, I have all the respect in the world for him and the way he plays. He's just too small right now to pick up those blitzers, particularly with the tackles having the issues they have. Now, it's possible, Dave, that what we're talking about, the tackles getting better versus Bishop, that they go hand in hand. Maybe if the tackles get better, you won't have to, then Bishop can stay on the field because you won't have to rely on him to pick up blitzes that Lance Hurd just misses half the time. But, right now, they got to get better.
Possession down coming up, 4th down, the most important down. No, really, coaches will tell you it's 1st down because it sets up the whole chain of events. But it is a possession down. 4th down up next. Caleb picks these things. He's saying no Dylan Sampson the rest of the season.
Have you seen the latest TriStar Hats Co. product?
TriStar Hats Co.? What's that?
You know, those really cool hats, shirts, tumblers, and even license plates with 3 stars like the official Tennessee flag and stripes like the American flag. Pretty patriotic if you ask me.
Ah, gotcha. Seen those. Those are cool. Where can I get them?
Simple. TriStarHatsCo.com. And if you order now, there's 10% on any order $50 or more. Plus, use the promo code HOOKED.
With the promo code HOOKED, you get 10% off. That's hooked.
And don't forget free shipping with any order over $50. Stock up at TriStarHatsCo.com. That's TriStarHatsCo.com. There are plenty of wannabes out there, so make sure you go to TriStarHatsCo.com for the best quality and customer service.
Will do, and I'll be sure to use the promo code HOOKED. That's hooked when I do, to save an additional 10% off. TriStarHatsCo.com.
TriStar Hats Co. is a trademark of TriStar Hats Co. LLC. Any use without...
All SEC center Cooper Mays here. 4th down.
What is 4th down?
4th down is, I am a college football coach, so it's 4th and 1, and I want to punt. I'm kidding, guys. So 4th down is the back end of the defense needs to develop more discipline. I think the linebackers, because Keenan Peely is out. So with Keenan Peely out,
don't you think they did that with Will Brooks filling in for run fits when he needed to?
I'm not criticizing Will Brooks. This has nothing to do on Will Brooks, who has done an amazing job. I'm criticizing
Andre Turrentine.
I'm talking about Andre Turrentine. I'm talking about Boo Carter, who I think is playing hard and is recovering well, but Boo Carter is not necessarily staying at home a lot of times. I think that's because he's just playing really hard. And also Jeremiah Thielander, and Arian Carter. Both Arian Carter, you talked about it, was out of position on a pass play that you can't allow against Arkansas. Thielander against Florida was allowing a lot of tight end plays and passes over the middle. There was a lot of those play action tight ends into the flats that Florida ran in the first half. Remember that too? Yes. And I think Thielander was called on a lot of those. Looked better against Alabama. Honestly, I don't think the linebacker's job against Alabama was that hard. I think Tim Banks had a scheme of, let's just keep Jalen Miller in the pocket and he won't do anything useful. So I don't think the linebackers had to do much.
Yeah, I don't think it speaks to Banks as much as I think it speaks to Tennessee not only has a lot of good athletic defensive linemen, but they've got smart defensive linemen.
They have very smart defensive linemen. That is true. As a matter of fact, I've seen some people try to run those quick speed options on them, and they stay at home every time.
They do, and they stay in their passing lanes, which could have killed you against Jalen Milroe. Listen, an NFL team, if it doesn't keep passing lanes against Jalen Milroe, he could beat them.